Good evening, folks. Hope you're all doing well. Everybody good? How's everyone feeling this evening? I wasn't going to stream, and then, well, basically, I was going to play some Skyrim, but I was trying to, like, get my, not mojo up, that sounds wrong. I mean, I'm trying to get up my motivation to play it, and I figured I've been threatening to do this on stream for ages, and let's play Skyrim, and let's play through, you know, the whole thing, not in one sitting, my god, not in one sitting, but just play through the whole thing. And I figured tonight might be the night, may as well. So I think Doom: The Dark Ages is coming out pretty soon. I think it's in like 9 days, so yeah, figured I'd come on and do a bit of that. You feeling alright, North? 2 streams in a week? I don't know, man. I think I've got the PC here. It's a good PC, you know what I mean? And it's a good setup, so I think it's a bit of a shame if I don't stream a bit more, you know. Have you tried the Oblivion Remastered yet? I have. I'm not a huge fan of Oblivion. Mainly because I think its setting leaves a lot to be desired, and I think its game actually leaves a lot to be desired, if I'm going to be honest with you. Pretty floaty combat in terms of, you know, what it is and what it does. Not a huge fan of it. And to be honest, it looked like it was going to be more of a remake, and I was much more excited for that. I thought that was going to be great. And then because they mentioned Unreal 5 and things like that, so I was really excited for it. So I downloaded it, played it, and it's basically an Unreal 5 skin over the old Oblivion engine. And if that's what you're looking for, all power to you. I don't think that holds up in 2025, and I think it's a sad state of affairs in gaming where people are holding that up as a Game of the Year candidate. It's like, are you shitting me? So, you know, I played it for a good... How long did I play it for? Let's have a look-see on my Steam here. I played it for a good... where is it? 10 hours. 10, 11 hours, right? Got that far in it. Decided, you know what? I don't feel like playing through a... What would it be now? Near 20-year-old game. When I've got other things to play. So I didn't. I dropped it. I got to the stage in the main quest where they say, "Hey, hero, do you know those Oblivion gates that you don't like closing because they're really boring?" Yeah. Do that another 12 times, please. In a row. You serious? No. And I know there are side quests and things. I know. But, no. No. I'm not doing it. Sorry. I said this to Steady the other day and a few other friends. Oblivion Remastered makes me want to play Skyrim. Right? It's strange, I know, but it does. It makes me want to play Skyrim. What do you think's better, staying a YouTube member or joining Patreon? Both are great, Scum. Both are great. So, whatever one is easiest for you. So the answer is, wherever's easiest for you is what you should do. If it's easier for you to do Patreon, then do Patreon. If you're already on YouTube and it'd be a faff to change it over, stay on YouTube, basically. On Patreon, you do get a free video a week, so if you want access to that, maybe switch over to Patreon. But yeah. Positive Geekery. Oh, I'm 16 hours in and haven't given the Amulet of Kings back yet. This is the thing. So this is how I play Elder Scrolls games, right? I treat them as role-playing simulators. So essentially, me running off into the wilderness with the Amulet of Kings, unless I'm a dastardly person, wouldn't really work as a thing. You know, it's just not something that a normal person would do. So, you know, I kind of have to do the main quest for a good while. You know, Draxis, have you played Expedition 33 yet? I have. It's a fine game. It looks really good. It plays really well. You know, it's fine as a game. I think it's pretty good. Nothing much else to say. If you like old school Final Fantasy, you'll really be into it. You'll really like it. You know. Yeah, you'll really like it. If you like old school Final Fantasy with new style graphics and French, if you like French people, you'll really like it. I did get a sense that the narrative was starting to sniff its own farts. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean by that, right? The Disco Elysium, oh my god, was so profound. Oh my god, was so profound. That kind of thing. You know, do you get the message that we're trying to put? Dude, let me kill this guy with an axe, please. You know. There's a reason why Conan's so beloved. Just saying. There's a reason why Conan's so beloved. Well, that's it, Positive Geekery. If you're all playing an evil character, then it works, right? Then it works. Exactly. If you're role-playing an evil character, it works. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, Expedition 33, decent game. Not really my wheelhouse. But it is a very well-made game with a really interesting story. Very interesting so far. I might not come back to it soon, or at all. But yeah, I was enjoying it up until the point where I stopped. I'm at this stage in life now where, you know, you have so much free time, you know, going on, and sometimes it becomes unrealistic to carry on a game, even if you like it. Even if you like a game, you say, you know, I need to stop playing this because I've got other things that I want to play, you know. Scum says, have you seen the new Knight kit that got revealed? I have. It's an Imperial Knight. I'm literally the Travolta meme with that. Yeah, it's an Imperial Knight. Why is everyone so excited? Caesar, yes, it's me. Hello. Aiden says, kind of funny. See the Knights before the Thousand Suns. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Perhaps. Perhaps. Cheers, Callum. Positive Geekery, but it's got a new hat. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it's got a new hat. Precisely. Let me just get the chat on my phone. But it's got a new hat. And put that down here. Good. Excellent. Now it says Skyrim down there, but I'm thinking of giving you a choice of what we play. Shall we do that? Let's give you a choice. Bear in mind, I'll have to download one of these games, but it doesn't really matter. So, we're going with Skyrim. We're going with Conan Exiles. Warhammer Total War. What else could we do? Crusader Kings 3. In fact, I'll get rid of Warhammer Total War because we're going to have to download it again. I'm not playing Roblox. That's my daughter's game. Skyrim, Conan Exiles, Crusader Kings 3. What else do we have? We've got loads downloaded. We could do Rome Total War, I guess. Go. I'll give you a choice. I'll give you a choice. See what wins. I don't mind either way. Leave that vote going for a minute. Like, Roblox is a bit of a nightmare, especially when you have kids. Like, making sure that they're playing the right games and they're not getting like any weird games coming through. Oh my god, it's a nightmare. John says, Night is made for looting. It is. Positive Geekery, Oblivion, side quest play. It's the guilds that have the great stories. It is, it is. It is. I just felt like doing the main quest and I was kind of burnt out on it. I got like 10 hours in and thought, ugh, you know. Ryan says, I expected you to have a massive beard. Why? Of all the people I know, I'm the one with the least facial hair. Of all the men I know. Aside from one or two, maybe. Like Santa. Is that your way of saying I have a manly voice? Nice that Wolves are staying up, huh? Well done. Good old Wolves. Let me just plonk this over here. There we go. Top 8 finish next season. That is optimistic, Ryan. That is very optimistic. Dude, I'd say Everton have a better side than you right now, and we're not finishing in the top 8 next season. Everyone's gonna get better and strengthen next season. Right? Like, literally. In my opinion. Like, everyone's going to get stronger next season. So if we're not finishing in the top 8, I don't see how you guys are. But, you know, it could always be surprising. It could always surprise me. Hi, James. How's it going, man? I think we'll get over 10 votes and I'll call it. If we're tied, then I'll just make the casting vote myself. Looks like Conan and Crusader Kings aren't getting any love. So I'm going to re-download Rome, just in case it wins. There you go. Love the FaceTime. Thank you, Jackson. Malia says, finally did my first Skyrim playthrough recently. I should have played it a lot sooner. Yeah, well, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. A lot of people come to games later on. I've got a mate who only tends to... come on games much later than usual. You know what I mean? When he's got time. Skyrim's one of those games, you know? Donald says, question, what does your Games Workshop gaming night look like you? Which style and army do you play? What do you mean? How do you mean? What does your Games Workshop gaming night look like you? Which style and army do you play? Well, I play Grey Knights. And I love them. And they're fantastic. Do you mod Skyrim? I do. So, this Skyrim is heavily modded. It has... Well, I'll show you in a minute. If it wins, we might get a slew of votes. But yeah, my Skyrim is heavily modded. Indeed. Several mods. Alright, I'm going to call that there. I said 10 votes. Skyrim has won the vote. I don't need to change the title of the stream. Hurrah! There we go. Alrighty. Big boobs mod? No. Don't have those mods installed, no. No Lovers Labs or whatever it is on my... Not that I know what that is. Alright. Let's stop doing that, and let's do this. You should be able to see the game now. Where is the audio? It should be coming through. Let's have a little look-see here. Oh, it'd help if I was sharing the game. Fucking hell. Do you know what? I'm the worst person at streaming. Like, literally the worst. I can't hear the game through my headphones. Yeah, I might need to change things. Let me see. I may need to use the old-fashioned headphones. Let me select that off for now. Take those out. Throw these on. Ah, now I can instantly hear again. There you go. And sort this out. So it is looking decent. There we go. And we'll put me over here, like this. Maybe down here. Maybe down there. Sweet. Okay. Donald, sorry, my dyslexia for you. It is old edition, 40k, 30k, how many points? So, 40k, it's current edition. You can play it in the current edition. And I've got about, I'd say... I always trim my armies down, so I never have a load of models. I always trim them down as far as I can. And my current army is about 2,000 points of Grey Knights and 2,000 points of 2 chapters of Space Marines. So that's 4,000 points of Space Marines. So yeah, that's what I've been doing right now in terms of gaming. North, have you ever played Mountain Blade? They have an incredible old world mod. I have. The mods for Mountain Blade seem to be a bit janky, at least for me. I really like the base game of Mountain Blade Bannerlord. I loved Warband back in the day. I downloaded all of the mods for Warband back in the day. I was addicted to that game. But basically, as a historian, you kind of gotta like Mountain Blade. It's the lore. And yeah, so when War Sales comes out, I will be going back in June to play some more Mountain Blade. Absolutely, absolutely. Caesar says, Jake the dog once said, the first step of being good at something is to suck at that something. Yeah, true. Exactly. So, we are role-playing today a character, most gold carried, 140, there you go. A character by the name of Gormal Ghosthair. A lot of you may have known him from back in the day. I always love this character. I've never completed the full game with him. He is essentially an old orc. Very old. You know... I'm talking like in his 40s, maybe 50s. He's an old guy, right? And Gormal wants to die. That's his quest in life, is to find a good death. Right? Other thing about Gormal is that he fucking hates vampires. Absolutely despises them. They turned his son into one, he had to kill his son, and now he's looking for a good death. He's wandering around the world looking to die, looking for somebody to put him out of his fucking misery. But, because Gormal's, you know, such a badass, I don't know if anyone's going to be up to the task. We will see as we play through the game. Our first thing to do is to sleep on this bed. In my headcanon, up here, Gormal nearly died in killing his son and was carried up by a merchant caravan that ended up on a boat. And now he's been working his way on that boat, you know, and he's going to end up in Morrowind at the start of this game. Yes, Morrowind. You heard correctly. You're going to Morrowind at the start of Skyrim. Yeah. Let's do it.
Well, here we are. Welcome to Raven Rock. Just be careful here. Things aren't what they used to be.
Yes. No scaling, I guess.
I don't recognize you. So I'll assume this is your first visit to Raven Rock, Outlander. State your intentions.
Just looking for work.
You've picked one of the worst places in Morrowind to do that, but suit yourself. Just remember, Raven Rock is sovereign territory of House Redoran. This is Morrowind, not Skyrim. While you're here, you will be expected to abide by our laws. Any questions?
Why are you so suspicious of visitors?
I have to be. A second counselor, Security of Raven Rock is my primary concern.
Has security been an issue?
This isn't exactly the city of Blacklight. We're on the frontier out here. We've had more than a fair share of troubles. After all we've been through together, I refuse to let Councillor Morvain down.
What do your titles mean?
Councillor Morvain is House Redoran's representative on Solstheim. As second councillor, it's my job to support him and make certain his rule is enforced.
Raven Rock is purely a Dunmer settlement?
Raven Rock started out as an Imperial settlement. The Empire decided to abandon it, just as my people were first setting foot there. They left the town a shambles. But when House Redoran took over, we turned it around and it became ours. And even if it's been a struggle to make this island livable, we're proud to call it home.
What is the city of Blacklight?
Your ignorance of our homeland doesn't surprise me. It's the capital of Morrowind. Been that way ever since Mournhold was sacked by the Argonians. I don't visit there often anymore, but we still get the occasional supply ship and visitors from there.
The Argonians invaded Morrowind?
Quite a while ago, yes. They cut a bloody swath across most of the southern region of Morrowind. Nobody seems certain why it happened. An attempted expansion, revenge for the enslavement of their people, or perhaps both. Whatever the case may be, thousands of Dunmer needlessly lost their lives. Many more were exiled from their homeland. Hail, Jolland.
So yeah, it is Kratos. So yes, there is a voice mod for Skyrim. It is called Dragonborn VoiceOver, I think it's called. And you can download it. One of the most popular ones is Kratos, because if you're playing an orc, he basically absolutely sounds just like an orc boss should sound in Skyrim, right? Michael Dorn's voice is born to play an orc rather than Kratos. Kratos sounds cool, but nah, man. Like, if you ever have a voice protagonist and you get to choose an orc in Elder Scrolls, it's got to be his voice. And it suits Gormal, like an old orc who wants to die, perfectly. That's why I selected it.
Well met, Admiral. Before you even ask, yes, I have the supplies you requested. But
What?
this load cost me double what we'd agreed on. Nothing I can do about it.
Damn it, Jolland, you know we don't have that much coin.
Look, the East Empire Company didn't give me a choice. They've raised their prices again, and there's nothing I can do about it.
After all these years, they're gouging us for every last drake we have. Let me talk to Laeral. I'll see what we can do.
All right, Admiral. Don't worry about rushing it. Just pay me when you can.
Your visit here will be tolerated as long as you abide by our laws.
So yeah, it is heavily modded. So base Skyrim doesn't look like this, of course. But in my opinion, and I said this before on a video when I was doing a recording, this looks better than Oblivion remaster to me, because this is an art style. They're not going photorealism here. This is an art style, and I think it looks awesome. Let's see what we've got. What have we got? Antique iron sword. Guess we can use it. We'll eat some apple. We're ready to go.
Can't believe I've been stuck here.
There's nothing beyond the bulwark, except wild nords and ash wastes.
Drained. Okay.
If you witness suspicious activity, report it.
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine.
Dude, I hope this isn't going to be fucking intrusive, this part of the game, where it's like, You're hungry. You're hungry. You're tired. You're tired now. It's like, come on, dude.
Welcome to the retching nets, Outlander. What can I get you?
So what's the specialty of the house?
The finest sujama to cross your lips, friend. My own personal formula that I call Sadri's Sujama. In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it.
I could help spread the word.
I was kind of hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sujama and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you.
So yeah, you do. This is a part of the Dragonborn DLC, and because of the mod Live Another Life, we get to choose to come here early. Now I doubt we're going to stay here for that long. We're going to go to the mainland eventually. Gormal is basically the reason why Gormal does jobs, right? Is because at the end of the day, he's trying to please Malakath, right? He's trying to please Malakath. If you die of starvation, that's not going to please Malakath. You've got to die in battle, right? You've got to die defending what's yours, essentially, defending yourself. And Gormal wants to go out there and find as many big, nasty things to whack over the head as he can. Because that's what he's supposed to do, right? That is his job. That is what he's trying to redeem himself and his son and his tribe in the eyes of Malakath, in the eyes of his god.
As the wife to the second counselor of Ravenrock, it would be my pleasure to help you any way that I can. You look able to venture outside of town. Perhaps you could help me recover something precious that was lost.
Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
Oh, how kind. Thank Geldis for me, won't you?
You mentioned that you lost something.
A few months ago, I had sent an important folio to the first edition bookshop in the Imperial City to be rebound. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived.
Was it aboard a ship?
Yes, the Strident Squall, or something like that. The damn thing sunk right off the coast of Solstheim. Can you imagine?
How do you know?
One of the sailors survived. Poor thing crawled all the way to Raven Rock on his hands and knees. Before he died, he told the Redoran Guard about the wreck and warned us that it was going to be crawling with reavers.
I'll see if I can find the book for you.
Thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom. My husband is second counselor, so I certainly have the means to reward you if you find my folio.
So yeah, Gormal needs to eat. He needs money. He needs better weapons to take on big monsters so he can kill them, or they can kill him and he can die swinging, which would be even greater. Gormal won't do a few things. All right, Gormal will not, shall we say, murder people. Right, he's not going to steal. He's not going to be Dark Brotherhood material. But that doesn't mean he's a good guy, right? He's an orc at the end of the day. He does raid. He does like kill people. You know, he's a big dude, as you can probably see. This guy is in armor next to him, and Gormal's still bigger than him. Gormal's just fucking mad. Look at the size of him. Even to other orcs, look. He's a big dude, right? He's going to handle himself. It'll be fine. But he's taking on little jobs because he's a merc. He's a mercenary. He wants to eat.
There's only one thing to remember. Pay your debts or end up.
So he's passing out the drink for this guy.
I'd be on the first ship off this island if I had the coin. What a waste.
Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
Geldis needs to bottle this up and send it to the mainland instead of wasting his time out here. His drinks are outstanding. Thanks.
Do you sell any special mining gear?
Mining gear? No. However, I used to sell East Empire pendants until I ran out of them. Popular little item.
What's an East Empire pendant?
It's an amulet that was made exclusively for the East Empire Company. They gave them to their workers as an incentive at one point.
a kind of reward for extra effort. They're no longer being made, so they've become a collectible. I'd love to get my hands on a few of them.
Where can you find them?
They could be anywhere on the island. The mines might be a good place to start. If you find any while you're exploring Solstheim, bring them here, and I'll pay you for them. The East Empire pendants are scattered all over.
Hey Shemek, how's it going, man? Krasnoluduzki? How's it going, man? How you doing?
Miserable. Just miserable. Oh, I hate this place.
You don't like it on Solstheim?
Don't like it. I hate it. Every day it's the same thing. We open the shop, we hardly sell a thing, we close the shop and go to sleep. What kind of a life is that?
Why not return to Morrowind?
Oh, believe me, I'd be on the first ship off this miserable island if I could. But I'm not sure I could do that to my father. I think it would break his heart. We've already lost my mother. I don't want to leave him alone.
How did your mother die?
We lived in a settlement, perhaps a league from the border of Black Marsh, the homeland of the Argonians. Even though the Argonian invasion ended a long time ago, there are still a few scale-skinned clans that live within our borders. To put it simply, they attacked our settlement and slaughtered almost everyone.
What's he doing?
It was horrible.
What's he doing? What's wrong with him? First bit of Skyrim jank?
Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
At least my father will let me drink whatever I want without complaining. Tell Geldis I appreciate it.
I love how Gormal's walking around like Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink. It's like, he's not asking. he's
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine.
I've sworn to keep Councillor Morvain safe, and I intend to take that oath to the grave, if need be.
Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
What? Oh, no, thank you. I need to keep my head clear. Remember, we are
looking for any potions, ingredients, alchemical supplies?
No.
Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
I should mix some of this into my next potion. Who knows what would happen? Remember, I have plenty of potions and ingredients if you're ever in the market.
Who else can I give this to?
And that's the end of it. Understand?
One over there. I tell you what, the guys on the boat, they might want some.
Seeking passage to Windhelm?
Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
There's nothing finer than Dark Elf Sujama. Like nectar it is. May the wind be at your back, friend.
Captain Gallen does the business around here. I'm just...
Talk to Captain Gallen if you're looking to book passage.
Okay, guess not.
The entire island isn't covered in ash, you know.
Can I help you?
It's always funny when two poles find each other. Just randomly.
As the second counselor of Raven Rock, it would be my pleasure to help you any way that I can.
On behalf of House Redorin and as Counselor of Raven Rock, I bid you welcome.
Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
Good old Geldis is always managing to keep our spirits up. And our eyesight hazy. Thank you.
Do you rule all of Solstheim?
Solstheim is theoretically under my rule. But without revenue from the mine, I lack the resources to actually govern anything but Raven Rock itself. Not that there's much beyond the confines of our town anyway.
It's this island. It's never felt the same since we left Vardenfell.
Well, there's a small enclave of Nords to the north in Skarl village. They pretty much keep to themselves, and we both like it that way. Then there's Tel Mithrin to the east. The Telvanni live out there. Sort of a strange lot. But since we're both from Morrowind, we get along. Other than that, Solstheim is crawling with bandits and weaklings. But that's to be expected living in a frontier like this.
What happened to the mine?
It used to be one of the richest ebony mines in Morrowind, but it dried out years ago. Now, we're barely holding out here. Without the mine, Raven Rock doesn't feel like it can last much longer.
What is House Redoran?
You've never heard of House Redoran? We're the mightiest of the great houses, and we lead the Council, the ruling body of Morrowind.
Council? You mean there's no Jarl?
This isn't Skyrim, Outlander. A group of powerful and influential Dunmer families have been ruling Morrowind for millennia. They embody a council made up of 5 great houses: Telvanni, Dres, Indoril, Sadras, and Redoran.
But you said Redoran leads the council.
Well, of course. With 4 other houses on the council, someone has to keep the rabble organized. Our house leads the council by virtue of our preeminence in battle, wisdom, and ancestral glory.
Sounds rather complicated.
Yes. I imagine it would to someone not of our people. If you're interested in pursuing the subject, help yourself to any of the historical volumes in my library. My doors are open if you wish to discuss
the
matters
closest thing
involving
I've had to
Raven
our
Rock.
brother. And we all
Move along, Outlander.
Kind of hilarious how he's just... Sounds complicated and...
Looking for any potions? Ingredients? Alchemical supplies?
It gets lonely out here, you know, on this remote island.
Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
Well, tell Geldis that Miri says she really appreciates it. And don't stay away for too long.
You haven't seen Cresius Corellius, have you? That foolish old man's taken my pickaxe again.
Why all the fuss over a simple pickaxe?
No, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill pickaxe. I'm talking about an ancient Nordic pickaxe. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know.
Can't you just get the guard to find Cresius?
I prefer to handle these things on my own. Look, if you see Cresius, tell him to give me that pickaxe back, and I'll pay you for the trouble.
Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip.
What have you got for sale?
Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs.
Let's see. I remember Skyrim being incredibly stingy. Yeah, it is. Yeah, 200 odd. Oh my god, that's a lot of money. Well, I've got enough for it though. Yeah, I'll buy one. I'll buy one. Why not? You can have nothing because I don't have anything. There you go.
You tell Cresius he better give that pickaxe back to me, or else.
I love you can eat, drink it all yourself. That's quite funny.
Welcome to Raven Rock, traveler. Could I interest you in any fine ash-grown foods?
What exactly is ash-grown food?
The Dunmer have been growing food in the ashlands for thousands of years. It was born out of the necessity to survive in the harsh climate of our homeland. And now, with the constant eruptions of the Red Mountain, it's more important than ever.
Is magic involved?
No. Only the Telvanni have the ability to weave living growth from the ash. This simply takes the right ingredients, the right tools, and a lot of patience.
Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
Always a pleasure to taste anything Geldis comes up with. Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always have plenty of food for sale.
So in terms of his skills, he's essentially an orc. So he's got good smithing, good heavy armor, good block, good two-handed. He can do one-handed too. Doesn't do any of this sneaky stuff at all. But he does do restoration. That's because he's learning to combat the undead, because he fucking hates vampires. So there you go. He's not very good at it though, obviously. But he will have to learn.
Damn it, woman. I said to leave me be.
Cretius, last time you explored the mine, you almost fell to your death. I'm not spending the rest of my days as a widow.
And I'm telling you that I'll do whatever it takes to find my great-grandfather's remains. He's down here. I can feel it.
That was almost 2 centuries ago. There may be nothing left to find.
Just let me go, woman.
Cretius, you're an obstinate old fool, and you're going to get yourself killed. My apologies for Cretius's ravings.
What were you arguing with Cretius about?
That foolish old man thinks he's 30 years younger than he is. He's going to get himself killed traipsing around the mine.
Why is he exploring the mine?
He's convinced himself that there's some sort of conspiracy involving the East Empire Company and the mine's closure. We came across some old letters that belonged to his great-grandfather in our house, and he believes every word written in them.
What did the letters say?
Cretius's great-grandfather worked for the East Empire Company. The letters mention some sort of discovery he was sent to investigate. There's really nothing remarkable in the letters. I don't know what he's so excited about. Gratian Corellius. He was an explorer for the East Empire Company. They'd send him all over Tamriel when they had difficulties in a mining operation. Poor man. Can you imagine doing all that dangerous work just to end up dying at your own doorstep?
What happened to him?
There was a horrible accident, and he was killed when one of the tunnels collapsed. They were never even able to go down there and recover the body. The East Empire Company sealed that section off to prevent any more tragedies. Cretius is convinced it's a story cooked up by the company to cover up something else, but I don't know.
You don't agree with Cretius?
My beloved is almost 80 years old, and I think the shock of finding one of his ancestors' things has left his mind a bit confused. I love him dearly, and I support everything he does. But I can't let him chase this silly idea, or he may end up joining Gratian in a rocky grave.
How did you meet Cretius?
To understand how we met one another, you have to appreciate what he's going through. Cretius is a third-generation miner. All his life, he's lived and breathed nothing else. By the time Cretius came of age, the ebony mine in Raven Rock was shut down. He took that quite hard.
Why didn't he move somewhere else to find work?
Our home has been in his family for over 200 years. Leaving would have been like abandoning precious memories. Instead, he stayed on Solstheim and spent most of his life prospecting for a new ebony source. Sadly, it never surfaced. A decade ago, this drove him into a deep depression. He shut himself inside his home and refused to come out.
This is where you met.
It was. After refusing to allow anyone to bring him food, Counselor Morvain ordered his door to be knocked down before Cretius starved to death. I was a temple priest at the time, and they had me use my healing arts to restore strength to his ailing body. I stayed for a while and cared for him, then I suppose we fell in love.
Dan's Den. What do I say to that? Probably... Do you know what? A ghost in front and behind. You didn't say that to be alive. Yeah? No smell. No solids. Nothing. Just a wisp of air. Job done.
Geldis Sadri wants you to try his new drink.
Well, that sounds lovely. Thank you. Be careful out there.
Who in the blazes are you? Can't you see I'm busy?
Busy doing what?
Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are.
It's dangerous here for an old man.
Ask most of the folks around here and they'd agree with you. But mark my words, these mines hold a secret that could put Raven Rock back on the map.
What sort of a secret would be hidden here?
A secret the East Empire Company swept under the rug 2 centuries ago. It killed my great-grandfather and left Raven Rock with a worthless and tainted mine.
Who was your great-grandfather?
Gratian Kyrelius. He spent his entire life exploring ancient ruins across Tamriel. And he died in these very mines almost 200 years ago.
How did he die?
The East Empire Company called it a terrible accident, claiming that he was lost in a rockfall. But I know better.
What's your proof?
My wife and I were cleaning out our home, and we came across some of my great-grandfather's things locked in an old chest. I found an unsent letter he'd written to the East Empire Company, and a key.
What did the letter say?
It describes a discovery that was made in the mine by some of the diggers. They wanted Gratian to take a closer look. The East Empire Company must have felt it was of great value, as they locked that section of the mine off from everyone else.
The key is to the locked section.
It is. Well, I assume it is. I haven't been able to find the entrance.
I still think you're crazy.
I don't care what you or anyone else thinks about me. I'm telling you, there's something big down there. Something that the East Empire Company wanted to hide from everyone.
Why are you telling me all of this?
Look, my wife nags that I'm too old to go traipsing around these mines chasing my story. Time's my enemy. It's caught up with me before I could find the answers that I'm looking for.
So you do need my help?
I do. I want to know what happened to Gratian, and what the East Empire Company is keeping from all of us.
Any idea of where to start?
Gratian kept a journal of notes about his discoveries. If you can find his remains, I'm hoping it will help. Here's everything I have. The letter, the key. Please, do this for me, so I can finally regain the respect that I've lost.
Are you sure Gratian's death wasn't an accident?
Look, I know I don't have much to go on. I have that unsent letter, and that's really it. But I also have a miner's instinct that's run in my family from before Gratian was even born. I may sound like a crazy old man to you, but I'm telling you, the tunnels here are solid. They would never collapse like that.
Glover wants his ancient Nordic pickaxe back.
The damn fool doesn't even deserve to have it. The pickaxe was made for mining, not selling. I'll bet he stole it from the Skald in the first place.
It doesn't belong to you.
Oh, very well. Here. Tell him I hope he drops the thing on his foot. Be careful down there. The mine can be treacherous.
Okay, let's equip our thing. What's the ancient ring? Okay, moonlight, yeah, cool. Let's head down. Whoa, he's so much bigger than... Oh my god.
Try the lower sections of the mine. I've never been able to get that far.
Alright, let's go down. It is a mod on the Sire, yes, it is a mod. And we are here for some loot. And, you know, we're trying to make money. Can't please Malakath if we're dead of starvation, so... The fuck? Is that the way down? Nope. Yeah, Gormal won't really go against his employers. Like, if he's paid to do something, he's not stupid. Like, that's one thing I want to get away from, right? He's not a stupid orc. Like, he's intelligent. Like, he's intelligent in the way that you wouldn't expect him to be. You know what I mean? But he also, you know, lacks a bit of imagination sometimes. Yeah, I need these guys alive. Not much stamina left. You can cheese these guys pretty much just by, you just keep, wait till they attack, and then you whack them, stagger them, like that. What did you have? Nothing. Okay. Probably take that actually. Brown rot. Great. What does that do? What does brown rot do? Brown rot. Light and heavy armor prevents 25% less damage. Sleeping is 20. Oh my god. Right, we need to get rid of that. Quite lucky because we've come here so early. These are Drago Whites and stuff. They're quite difficult, but they're also like not able to stand up to you know, we've got a better weapon than they do since we bought it. Yep. Oh, I've got to sleep. Right, okay. Ow. Okay, I'm going in here. Where am I going? There we go. Do I have any health stuff? Okay. Can I get rid of that? Can I just get rid of that? Can I just get rid of survival mode? Yeah, I can. Fuck that shit. Do my head in. Go away. I'm already getting fucking... It's only the upgraded block that's saving my ass at the moment. Ha ha ha! Take that. I am nearly dead, so I need to... Fuck's sake. Okay. Let me do a quick save and a quick load. See if that gets rid of fucking... I'm not doing survival mode. It sucks ass, man. I'm not doing survival mode. Dude, I'm not doing survival mode. Fuck off. Like... Sucks ass. Go away. See, this is the thing. Because we're an orc, so we've got pretty good, you know, stats across the board. We've come to Solstheim way earlier than we should have done, right? Which means that they've all got little maces and stuff rather than their actual weapons that they should have. So we're actually able to stand up against them, which is cool. I'm just hoping this fucking thing goes away. Like, there's gotta be. Vibration controller. Survival mode. Switched it off. You are peckish. Nah, yeah, it's doing my head in, man. Doing my fucking head in. Like, what are you supposed to do? It's so terrible. Waste of fucking time. Like, I don't want to... I tell you what, I'll save it there and I'll stop the game and I'll come back and I'll see if that resets it. Because I've got it switched off. I've switched it off. So we'll see if that resets it. Alright. Skyrim script extender. It's alright, bored, no problem. Have to finish the D&D session, you gotta do what you gotta do. Has that solved things? I don't think it has. I don't think it has. Yeah, it hasn't. Yeah, Bethesda, don't put in a fucking survival mode. I shouldn't have clicked that. I knew I shouldn't have clicked that. I really don't want to play with this fucking thing on, dude. Leave it there for now. Like, I really don't want to play with that fucking thing on. It's annoying as all fuck. So screw that for a bit. Whoops. Put myself on there. Apologies, but like I'm not. I've got to have to start that all over again. I'm not going to put you through that. So, yeah, it sucks, but there we go. Like even then, it's like, oh yeah, do you mind? You can switch it off if you want. Okay, switch it off. No, everything stays. That's typical Bethesda. Typical Bethesda. Anyway. See what we can do instead. See what we can do instead. Save that. What are you doing now? Like, there we go. Add game capture. There we go. We'll play this instead. We'll play this instead. You've been praising Shadowrun, why not play that? Yeah, you could do, but like it revolves around a lot of how do I put it? Reading. I've got to read a lot for that. Da, 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 da. So here I am in my loincloth. And here is my cat. I'm aware he's bigger than me.
I'll carefully conserve my strength and endeavor to survive every battle by way of sound strategy and defensive tactics.
Okay, no.
Look, Master, a treasure chest. We shall have to find a way to reach it.
Dude, why is my guy so small?
There's no easy thing making a living as a soldier.
Now I've got it stepped it in.
Oh wait, I've still got my thing on, haven't I? Did somebody say us on about a new night before? Hang on, let me just have a little check here. Warhammer. New Imperial Knight. Of course they don't have it. Okay, there we go. They do. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look at this thing. You piqued my interest. Somebody put it in chat before. You piqued my interest. We were meant to do some gaming, but fuck it. Do you know when you just get to that stage where you're just like, I now can't be arsed. Like, I've just been whacked right out of the mood for gaming. So I'll stay on for a little bit longer, and then we'll do some of this. We'll look at some of this. Okay. Imperial Knight Codex. Okay, Knight Defender, Quaos Doris Knight. Yeah, am I the only person who just is underwhelmed? It's just an Imperial Knight, man. It's an Imperial Knight. Scum, what about this, like, absolutely excites you? What makes you go, wow, you know, this is the thing I've been waiting for, right? Or are you just curious about what I think about it? You know? Krasno says, does anyone have an RPG campaign that they still remember almost like it was yesterday? I do, yes. I do. It was a campaign, my first D&D campaign back in the day. Yeah, it ended in a siege, which is pretty cool. Yeah, the players, half the players were defending a siege, and the other half were attacking the siege. So the party kind of split down the middle of like evil characters and good characters, went their own separate ways, and ended up actually fighting each other. You know, it's pretty cool. Yeah, we actually had to book out a room at the university to do our planning on. So we had this like huge whiteboard and models and things that we planned the siege out on and stuff. It was awesome. It was really, really good. Shemek says, North, have you ever played The Longest Journey, a point-and-click adventure game? Awesome world building. Has some modern sequels too. No, I haven't. I might have to look into that. The Longest Journey. Let's have a look. The Longest Journey. Oh, I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen this around. Yeah. It's an old game, right? Yeah, year 2000 it came out. Wow. 25 years ago. Scum says, I collect knights, 9 so far, and I just like the guns and the ability given by the Void Shield generator. That's cool. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, I'm guessing for fans of, you know, for fans of these dudes, fans of the knights, this is a cool thing. More models is always good. You know, I just don't get the unabashed excitement that we've been seeing. Oh my god, it's new Imperial Knight. It's like, you know, all right. Yeah, new helmet and gun. Exactly. That's pretty much what it is. It's a new helmet and a new gun. Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much. Has anybody else had that where you're hovering around the mood for gaming, and then you play a game and immediately it just does something that knocks you out of it and makes you go, I'm not enjoying this part of it, and you can't switch it off, or something like that happens that's unavoidable, and you just go, do you know what, fuck it. I'd rather just sit here and read a book, or talk to chat, or do whatever. If you had to rank the Chaos Codex's gameplay by how fun it is to play, which would you... I wouldn't know, mate. I wouldn't know. I'm not one of these YouTubers who will wax lyrical about things I don't know about. I don't know. I can tell you from the lore, which I prefer. Absolutely. Why am I using these? I'm not even gaming anymore. I can tell you in the lore what I think about, what I prefer. You know, I prefer... I would say I prefer Khorne. Mainly because he's the oldest. And he's the first one that you kind of see when you come into Games Workshop. So since I was a kid, I've always preferred Khorne. Just how I am. Everybody else seems to have some sort of like, you know, bullshit, you know, please nerf power going on. Whereas Khorne just like, you know what, punch that thing in the face. I really liked the era of Games Workshop when they had factions that... how do I put this? The era of Games Workshop where every single part of Chaos had its own thing, right? Had its own thing that it did, that it wasn't evil, you know? So Khorne was, again, the god of violence, the god of murder, god of war, god of all that. But he's also the god of honor. He's also the god of facing up to your problems and defeating them. He's also the god of revolution and advancement, you know, and on chasing your dreams and stuff, right? Without that ambition, there is no Khorne. I really liked that. I thought that was really cool. And it meant that you could have honourable champions of Khorne who would just be like, no, I don't kill the weak. Why would I kill the weak? That's stupid, that's cowardly, and Khorne does not like that. You know, Khorne would be very displeased with you for killing the weak, you know. I love the almost chromification of Khorne, like it's Crom, you know, like spill blood of the strong, you know, but the weak don't deserve your blade, sort of a thing. And when they changed Khorne just being outright evil and just being like, it matters not from whence the blood flows as long as it flows, it's like, okay. So Khorne, but my Khorne, the one that I liked when they first did it. Yeah. What is everyone else saying? Hopefully 30k night to stay in 40k. Okay. Okay. Scum says, that's me every time I play Helldivers. Krasno says, or Drunk Dwarf says, I remember Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing 2nd Edition campaign where you went to retake a clan hold. On one session, friend's grandma joins us, and after 3 years, I summoned the guys to make the session. Not ended, but probably continuing. Okay. On the side says, okay, how in the lore? Well, I've already said. Scum says, have you seen the big Nurgling in the flagship stores like the one in Edinburgh? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. No. Murfolk says, no offence intended. Before seeing your face, I always imagine Keith from the UK office talking whilst listening to your videos. Who is this guy? Am I going to be offended? To be fair, anybody with... oh, he died. Oh, he died last year. Wow. Anybody with a YouTube channel and an opinion on Warhammer, you'd be forgiven for thinking that they look like Keith from The Office. So I don't have any ill will towards you, my friend. Omnisai says, so Khorne was the god of protection. Technically, yeah, if you were defending your family to the hilt fiercely, you were worshipping Khorne. Yeah. Yeah. Anything that you did with a rage in your heart, you were worshipping Khorne. Essentially. Which is why I think it's cool. I like things like that, right? So Tzeentch was the god of magic and the god of plot, yeah, sure. But he was also the god of revolution. He was also the god of, you know, overthrowing tyrants, you know, through trickery, right? He was the god of intelligence, of learning, of becoming better at things in a mental capacity. That's what Tzeentch was. You know, Khorne was definitely about always overthrowing tyrants and stuff. That's what he was for, right? Exactly. Exactly. And again, Nurgle's even easier, right? Nurgle is the god of, literally, the god of life and death. So yeah, he's the god of death. But he's also the god of life. Rename the stream. There we go. Chatting with North. He was also the god of life. So he's... Of course, he's the god of death. He's the god of entropy, sure. But you can't have life without death, and you can't, and vice versa, right? Scum says, could be worse. You could look like a walking PowerPoint like Auspex. Now, we don't know what Auspex tactics look like. Let's be honest. We don't know what he looks like. You know. I'm always surprised by what people look like when they're online. When I first see them. Speaking of which, has Maka got back to me? He hasn't yet. Okay. That's fine. Awesome. He has not gotten back to me yet. Yeah, we're looking at doing another video this week, which is going to be pretty cool. On, well, release schedules and stuff for Warhammer models and things that I think is pretty cool. So we're going to be doing that later this week. What's the weather going to be like? Okay, right, shit. Excellent. Eldrad, enjoying the stream. I don't know why, but I pictured you as bold. I think you mean bold. I am very bold, though, yeah. Bold, okay. So one of the reasons why I did a face reveal on stream this early is because I wanted people to recognise who I was when we get to Exile Fest. Not because of any ego sort of a thing. It's more like I don't want to be always putting my hand up going, yes, it's me, hello. Yeah, somebody going, oh, where's North? Where's North? I'm over here, you know. I want people to go, oh, there's North over there. Hi, I'm going to say hello to him. That kind of a thing. Rather than people asking around saying, which one is he? You know, it'd be really, really awkward. So I'd rather, like, you know, people know who I am, can see who I am, and come say hello. Krasno says, I like the idea that you can overheal somebody with life magic, and clerics then must know the death to not kill somebody with cancer or something. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like magic systems that have a limitation. So I'm working on one at the moment called Void Magic, which essentially has a mage using their white blood cells to cast magic and stuff. There is actually an idea that I came up with Amber King when I was discussing something with him about magic systems. And he said a really good way to limit magical power is to have you basically become like you've got a really terrible immune system, and your body starts to break down the more you use magic because it uses your white blood cells to cast magic. That's really, really, really an intelligent thing to do. So that's what I did. That's what I'm doing. Board said, you could have just wore a shirt that says, I am North. That's true, but I've been meaning to do a face reveal for a while, so... Scum says, are the normal hobby review streams going to return now that all the chapters have been redone? Yes. We are doing Xenos factions, though. We're going to be doing Xenos factions as a thing. And then... we will be doing other things as well. So. On the back, I am South, yeah. Indeed. Is there anything else going on with the Warhammer community right now? Scourge of Gyron, okay. Some Age of Sigmar stuff. What the hell? I miss all this. The actual trademark next to names. Silly. That's old school Games Workshop, man. He's pretty good. These look pretty good. Not gonna lie. Like, Middle Earth has some pretty cool models, not gonna lie. Too bad it's not really supported by Games Workshop anymore, but there we go. Like, a lot of us have some sort of, like, it's a weird loyalty to Lord of the Rings, the strategy battle game, because to the vast majority of us my age, it was the big in thing when we got into the hobby for the first time properly. 1999, 2000, 2001, that era of watching the Lord of the Rings movies come out and then watching, you know, the game come out, you know. The game coming out in 2001 with the movies was a huge thing for most people to get into the hobby. Scum says, I've just started 2 armies, orcs for 40k and ogres for Age of Sigmar. Good! Good. Exactly. Ogres are awesome, man. Thank you very much, Board. I don't know what Tsar is. What Tsar? Have a look what that is. Tsar denomination. What is it? It is... Oh, the Rand. Well, thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Yeah. I gotta go. It's almost 12 here, but love all you do, North. Keep the great work. Yeah, I should have figured that it's 12 where you are, so you're only an hour or two in front, right, in South Africa. Yeah, well, thank you very much, Board. Cheers, man. Yeah. Zarnagrund. It's literally Sauron. Literally Sauron. Just have some money. Yeah, I think this Sunday we're going to start, and what I'll do is, for all of you here, we're going to start this Sunday with Xenos. Alright, we're going to what are we rebuilding? Rebuilding this weekend. Alright. Eldar. Orcs. Whoops. Orcs. Tyranids. Necrons. We are doing Xenos. Right? We're doing Xenos. We're going to rebuild them in the Exileverse. So, we're figuring out what we're doing this weekend. Caveman Bum, cheers man. Oh my god, my medication, I've been following you for years and this is the first time I've ever seen your face. Well, if you've been on the live streams before, you know, you've never talked. You need to talk more. Oh yeah, I think the vote was 2 weeks ago, it was Eldar. Okay, well this will be for the second week then. I think Eldar's going to win anyway. Zane says, do you think sometimes your view of Warhammer is a little too pessimistic? Yes. Yes. Bet you weren't expecting that. Right? Yes, I do, actually. There are a few times where I catch myself and I think, oh, come on, lighten up. Do you know what I mean? There are a few times where I do think that, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And to be honest with you, Zane, I sit back and I think about it and then... like, literally a couple of minutes later, I think, no, I'm pretty much justified in what I'm saying. You know what I mean? There's been a few times when I felt a bit bad, and I've come back and said maybe I was a bit too harsh on that. One thing I never want to do is farm outrage for content, because it would be exhausting. I'd hate it, you know? Which is also why I get annoyed when people say you farm misery for content. I don't. Like, I literally cover things that I'm passionate about. But like when I have been too pessimistic, I have absolutely taken myself to task over it. Absolutely. But it's rare. It's rare. You know. Ed says, "Oh, thank you very much for the £5, Ed. I've been working on my Eldar because I want a different playstyle. You want a different playstyle than moving around the board, running and gunning with guard." Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, if you wanted something different to guard, Eldar's pretty much the most different you could ever get. Do you know what I mean? Eldar's way out there. Way out there. Absolutely. That's alright, caveman. It's okay. James says, terrain, scenery. We've lost so much of the atmosphere, I think. Yeah, true. Jen says, I think a lot of nerds... Jen likes Crocs, ladies and gentlemen. Found that out today. Jen is not a normal person. That's where we are. Jen says, I think a lot of nerds are like that about the things they're passionate about in general. Everybody is conservative with a small c. And the things they cherish. That's such a good point, though. Yeah. You may be odd for liking Crocs, Jen, but that's a very good point. Yeah. I think everybody's very protective about what they think is theirs, right? And nerds definitely have an ownership over what they like. A lot. So that's generally what they do. I agree. I agree. I won't be caught dead with Marines. Fair enough, Ed. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Now, Ed, when you say you won't be caught dead with Marines, right? Do you mean that from a sense of you think Marines are generally lame? Or do you say that because Marines are so popular that you don't want to be one of those guys who just has Marines? Another one of the pack, basically, right? Do you know what I mean? Kras, no, that's not odd. That's the most Baltic thing I've ever fucking heard in my entire life. I like eating the fruits with the skin still attached. That's... You know... If you've ever been young and you've lived in a house, yeah, you would have come across at least one Polish person. Dude, that... Like, it's literally like... It's like a walking slab of granite just has entered the room. Jesus Christ, dude. You eating that raw? Yeah. Okay, cool. No problem. You know. Ed says, yeah, they're so popular and every dog and their mother has them. And there's so many other cool stuff in 40k than just Marines. I agree. I agree. There is. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I will say, you know, it's also completely fine to just like Marines and think that they're cool. That's also fine. But I get why you're sick of them. Probably comment of the night by Jen there, though. You know, everybody's conservative with a small c about the things they cherish. Very, 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 very true. Very true. I try not to be a Debbie Downer, right? I try not to be one of those people who's just like, ugh, this again, ugh, that. But it does become like one thing I've noticed online. Hang on, I'm going to get a drink. One sec. One sec. I'm just going to turn this off just in case somebody comes in the room when I'm not here. One sec. I'm back. Ultramarines best army. Yes, scum. All right. Fair dues. Fair dues. Still, everybody is some kind of odd in their own way. I agree. I agree. I do. I agree. Absolutely. In their own way, everyone's a little bit odd. Absolutely. Cooper says, "Hi North, sorry to hear you got exiled. Love the channel though." That happened ages ago, man. I've been exiled and come back. So, you know, you can't get rid of me. Alrighty, in that pool. You got your tinnies? I did. I did. I don't drink at home though. I got caffeine free Pepsi Max. Yeah, trying to drink at home. I'll have a little tipple every once in a while. Maybe on a Sunday or something. But it's only ever one, maybe two. It's just something I'm drinking at home I've never gotten. It's never been my thing. You know? Cooper says, North can deep strike. Yeah. Hell yeah, I can. Scum says, "Nah, I'm being serious. I'm down. I own 7,000 points of Ultramarines, and it's maybe 3 data sheets I don't disdain. I can tell you the Primarch is not in good standing." Yeah, well, to be fair, you like what you like, and this is something with Warhammer that I've always said. Right, you like what you like, and that's fine. You know, I don't think anybody can ever, you know, shout at you from on high for just liking something. Doesn't sit well with me, right? It just doesn't. You know. So you like orcs, or you're scum, or you like Tau, so you know you hate fun. No, they just like what they like, dude. Don't get me wrong, there are always armies that are in the meta that people will play just because they want to win. That's fine. That comes up, you know, it's annoying. It really is. But at the same time, flip side of that, there are also a lot of people who just played Tau back in the day because they thought Tau were cool, and they like Gundams, and they like, you know, space communism. No, it's not space communism. And also, people who say that are also wrong and stupid. It's not space communism. I don't like communism, as a rule. I don't like any, you know, most political things like that are all one way or all the other. I distrust authority, right? On both sides. And that's where I go. Why am I going into politics? Yeah. A lot of people ask me though, they say, you know, what are you? Are you right, left, or not? Dude, I'd say I'm a distrustful centrist. I don't trust anybody who makes more than I do. You know, I don't trust them. I don't trust anybody. So, I will take ideas from over here, I will take ideas from over here, and I will mix them in to, you know, if I think that they're the right things to do, I'll mix them into what I think, you know, the world should be. You know, I don't read news articles and immediately make my mind up. If I think something's important, I'll read up on it and then develop my own opinion that way. But most people in the world who just work for a living don't have the time to do that shit, so they rely on things like the BBC, CNN, Fox, Daily Mail, Daily Mirror, right? And they regurgitate the points that are in those things, right? They don't have the time. And I realised this back in the day, like me and my mum used to have running arguments, especially in 2020, because she hated Trump. And whilst I thought Trump was mental, but I certainly thought there were certain things that he did right, and he you know, I had a balanced opinion, I thought, on him. Because I have that balanced opinion, I was seen as some sort of antichrist or something. So, you know, and when I said to her, look, two things can be the same. Two things can exist at the same time. He can be a nut job, but also be a good president. He can be a bad person, but also be a good president. They're not mutually exclusive, you know. See what, you know, that just is what it is. You know, most of the things that he was doing, I was like, yeah, that makes sense, you know. Even though he's an absolute whack job and not a very nice person. You know, endorsing the guy doesn't mean you're endorsing the guy, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I had to, like, give her a break, because she was, like, so vociferous about it. And I was judging her for so long, thinking, well, you're just uneducated and you've not read up on this. But then I was like, do you know what? All I'm doing is learning how to be a teacher, and I've got 3 to 4 hours free a day to just game and read up on this stuff. My mum doesn't. She works full time. And she's knackered when she gets home. So she switches on the TV, listens to the news, thinks that's how the world works, and then gets on with her night. Because it's easier to do that. She doesn't have the mental bandwidth. I don't mean, like, not intelligent. I mean, like, she's tired. She doesn't have the mental bandwidth, the power there to go, I'm going to read up on all this, now I've got my free time. No, she wants to chill out. Right? Stroke her dog. I had the time to read up on it. You know? So I couldn't, like... I shouldn't be, you know, judgmental of her doing that. You know? Jen says, there's a line between being scornful of somebody's army and basically telling them that they've wasted their money for buying X army. It's a trap that I try not to fall into. Good for you. Good for you, Jen. Good for you. Cooper says, a lot of Tower releases seem to be playing on the to the favourites of other factions over Tower fans. Honestly, not the worst change. Fair enough. Politics are so cool. I wish leaders aren't as corrupt. Sorry. Leaders that aren't corrupt were real. Yeah, okay, cool. At least we have free circus on TV. That is also true. How are things in Poland? How are things in Poland? Don't live there, so I wouldn't know. Looking to get there pretty soon. That'd be cool. Yeah, so try not to... If people are older in your life, right? If people are older in your life and they have these opinions that you don't agree with, maybe they watch Fox News and they think that everything that comes from Fox News is gospel, right? Or CNN or BBC or whatever. Don't judge them too harshly, right? Because they probably don't have the time. They're working hard. Especially if you're a student. If you're a student and you're sitting there and you've got a lot of time to be online, you know, give these people a break. Alright? Give them a break. Now, if you're also working a lot and you find the time to go and read stuff up, then you can judge. You can judge. Absolutely. Never been to Poland? Yeah, I need to go to Poland at some point. Heard nice things about it. North Kill Team boxes are $75 for a squad in USA. Sneaky price hike in October, 3rd edition. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. Now, are you sure that the price hike is because Games Workshop did that, or is that because of customs and things like that? Because sometimes prices outside the UK can go up because of customs, because it's just an automatic rise that Games Workshop haven't done themselves. Do you know what I mean? It'll be the carrier who literally says, no, now it costs this much to get it into the country. So the guys who sell the model say, well, now we have to charge a bit more, right? Not all price rises find their genesis in Games Workshop. Some of them, you know, aren't Games Workshop's fault. North, you still working on your tabletop game? I'm working on 2. Both of them will be revealed on the channel eventually. Eventually, they will be. Yeah, one is called Dusk, and it is a western, dark western. Imagine Red Dead Redemption, Dishonored, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption, Dishonored, and maybe Call of Cthulhu have a baby. Yeah, mix those things in together, and you've got the setting of Dusk, and it's going to be an extraction game. So basically, like an extraction shooter. You're going out into the wilderness as a team, you're going to try and get as many artifacts and cool things together and get back to civilization before the demons kill you, sort of a thing. That's one, and then the other one is in the embryonic stages. It's going to be a dark, grim, gothic fantasy, Templar-ish game, Deus Vult and all that. But that's very early. Very, very, very early. Where can we support / find it? You can't yet. You can't yet. You can. There is a game I put on. I actually released. Where was it? Ah. Udall Punk. Done. Right. There was a game I actually released. And how do I share this? It's okay as a game. It's not great. You can buy it if you want to. You don't have to. It's Feudal Punk Revenant on Amazon. You can get it if you want to. You don't have to. But it's there. My first attempt at a role-playing game. It's okay. It came out alright. Yeah, when I reveal Dusk, it will have a Kickstarter page. It will have a full thing for everyone to get involved in. And, yeah, it'll have a full... Absolute... You can support it at the time. When it comes. But it's not ready yet. So... In terms of the lore, where am I in terms of... so the way I write these things is usually... I start with the lore document, and I write the lore in its entirety, and how it's going to be in the book, right? And then I'll write the rules, and then I'll write the connecting tissue going through, you know, and then get them all together. Right now we're on... Tools, word count. We're on 9,588 words of lore, and I think we've got another 5,000 to 6,000 left to go in lore. And we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cultures to choose from for your operative, your character. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 classes to choose from. There are different kinds of magic in Dusk. So, you know, all different kinds of things that you can do. All of them have like dark bargains as well that can get really nasty as things go on. But yeah, imagine the Order 1886 crossed with Red Dead Redemption, crossed with Dishonored, mix them together with some Lovecraftian stuff in there, and you've got what Dusk is, essentially. That's exactly how Dusk should play. But yeah, it will come eventually, you know. I always like, when I'm writing something, I can write it for about a month, and then I get bored, and I have to go write something else, and then come back to it. It's just how I work. So, you know, I'm getting to the point with Dusk now where you've got to be very careful about fatigue. Because if you get to a stage with a project where you're just like, oh, I'm not liking this, your writing can start to ebb away in terms of quality, so it's best to stop, go write something else, or go play a video game, go do something else for a couple of weeks, and then come back to it. Which is what I'm going to do with this soon. I'm almost at the part where I'm dropping the lore for a bit, and I go and write something else, and then I come back to it. Yeah. Yeah. That's all right, Cooper. No, it will come out. Like it's just, you know. In fact, I'm a lot quicker with this one than I have been with any other game that I've written. So Revenant is the one that's on Amazon. Revenant is on Amazon, and you know that took me about 6-7 months to write from start to finish. And it was really, really nice when I've had people who've like published their own books and games and stuff, and they've gone, "Look, you did that in 6 months." I'm like, "Yeah." You go, wow, you know, that's really cool. So I can do it. That's why I got Revenant out, just to tell myself that I can do it. I can do a finished product. It's there. People can buy it, right? You can go and buy Revenant right now and play it. start to finish. You can create a character. You can go through a campaign together. I've seen reports of people going through campaigns and things that they've done with it. Awesome stuff. They're using the mechanics that's in the game. It's not perfect. It's a first try, you know. But I am proud of it. It's pretty cool to get that out there. So, yeah, it will. So Dusk will come out. It just Dusk is a game that's been in my brain for a long time, a long time. There are things in Dusk that have been in my head for about, I'd say, at least 10, maybe 15 years. That and they've gone through lots of different rewrites, you know. Owen says, might be the most random thing ever, but did you choose the rubber effect soft back cover on Revenant? It's cool in ways, but myself, I prefer just normal cover to one. I did choose that, yeah. And you're right. Afterwards, you're correct, by the way, Owen. You're correct, because after I got the book in my hands, I did kind of change my mind on the cover. Right? I changed my mind on the cover art, and I changed my mind on the material used. So you're correct. I also prefer straight paper or card, which I will be doing next time. Dusk will have, because Dusk is going to be a Kickstarter, it will have bespoke art, it will have, you know, hardback covers, it will have collector's editions, all those things. And I'm looking, I think he's in the chat, Shemex in the chat. I'm looking to work with Minimaker around about the time to maybe get some models on the go too, so I can put some models in there as well for the Kickstarter. So, yeah, it's going to be like that. It's going to be, you know, a cool game. It's going to be a cool game. If you like, you know, dark westerns mixed with some, you know, Dishonored-like action, you're gonna enjoy it. Cheers, Owen. Thanks, man. Pet projects take the longest to make because baking in the heart isn't efficient. That's true. That's true. And the one thing I never want to do with one of these projects is turn it into a job. You know, because then I won't want to do it. That's how lazy I am. Do you know what I mean? Oh, by the way, this cup comes from the Valhalla Bar in York. So if you're ever in York, check it out. Check it out. It is a cool place. Cool place. Probably, unironically, one of the best rock bars I've ever been in. It was that good. Dude, they serve mead and medieval meat platters. And they have a long haul. More could you want? Luke says, how is the army painting for Exile Fest coming along? It's coming. It's coming. I'm on the Terminators right now. I finished one squad. I'm on the Terminators, and I need to get a fucking move on because I've got like just under 2 months, and time is disappearing quickly. But it will be ready. There is a lovely guy by the name of Julian, who will be playing the Exile Blades. He is coming over to our tournament from LA, which is crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. But he will be playing the Exile Blades, 2,000 points of them, and I'll be there backing him up, basically. But it is coming along. It's doing well. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so far. Yeah. Dude, another 2 hours. I'm killing it. Alright. I'm going to leave it there for this evening because I'm getting tired. So I'll see you later on. I will be back tomorrow for some more 40k. I think we're doing 40k Rantage tomorrow. And then we're doing more Hobby Nightmares on Wednesday. Okay? Yeah. Really nice to talk to you guys. Sorry the gaming didn't work out, but I got into it and I just wasn't enjoying it as much as I thought I was going to, so I just stopped. You know, it was on a whim that I started it anyway, so it was nice to get to talk anyway and have some fun. So I will speak to you very, very soon. Have a good one. Bye now.